Happy Thursday, everyone! It's time for the party stream! Air horn noises. So, if you can see past the glare coming down from the ring light, we are going to go ahead and do another attempt at an unboxing and painting, assembly and painting, of one of the Frameworks miniatures by WizKids. And today we have the Beholder. I love Beholders, and hopefully we will not have the technical difficulties we had last time I tried this, so it will actually be appropriate to upload to YouTube to get opinions on this line out to YouTube, because my opinions are important and everyone should listen to them. So without further ado, I will be going and commenting quite a bit for those who are not aware of how to work with this type of material, some of the changes you may have going from the Nolzur's line or Reaper Bones or metals, that kind of stuff. So let's start. We've got our supplies. We have, first off, a hobby knife, a nice pair of side cutters, and these are very specifically flush cutters. Some plastic cement. This is Tamiya Precision, and I love it because it's extra thin and it has a little applicator. And we have, I have some super glue in case I need it. I think I might. But we've got our normal supply of paint, brushes, and everything ready to go. So, without further ado, let's dig in. I'm excited because I love Beholders. Alright, so let's... Yeah, this is completely unopened, by the way. So we're going to go and open it up, and like the other Nolzurs, it comes in sprues in bags. So one of these has the assembly instructions, and we're going to go off of those. That's very important. Open these bags. Now, one of the things I do like about the Nolzurs, about the framework stuff, okay, we've got some clear bits, which we're probably not going to use much of, but we'll set those aside. Got the clear plastic bases, those get thrown away. I do actually really like that the sprues themselves can stack. I know Malifaux stuff does this, and it's really useful. Oh, I forgot, this guy comes with a gazer too. So I'll probably do him on a... I'll do him on the same thing. I think I got a 25mm base here I can use. So if you see, they do stack. So if you want to go start saving these things for a bits box, they kind of like organize themselves. And that is a useful feature, and it's not the type of thing that people are going to be thinking about, but it is a very useful feature. All right, so let's see if my opinions on the rest of the line apply to this. Assembly instructions are very important, but we're going to go through this step by step. And according to this, it's 1B, E, and D, as in Bravo, Echo, and Delta, which is a weird collection of pieces to go together at first. By the way, WizKids, just number the pieces and number them in the order you're going to be assembling them. It's much easier that way. You don't need the letters. So we're going to go and clip them off the sprues. And we're going to show you what we do with the knife. So that is piece B. And these are not any of those, not D or E. This is D and E on the sprue right here. D and E. So we will need those. We're going to clip them off. Kabam. Now, I generally don't like assembly because I got shaky hands and butterfingers, and I don't really have a good way to steady myself while I do this. Now, it does look like this guy has pretty chunky pieces, so I don't think I'm going to be, like, searching in the carpet for anything I drop. Should be a nice change. Now for the reason why we have our knife. This is a pretty fresh blade on this knife. Just a simple X-Acto will do the job. Let's go ahead and, by the way, the most important painting supply, a good stiff drink. Alright, I'm not hitting frame drops. It's awesome. So right here, if you pay attention, wherever you clip off the sprue, there's going to be a slight blemish. And if these are on join marks, you do need to, like, shave that off. You can do it with a file. I like doing it with a knife because it's faster. Now, this type of plastic, the polystyrene, is very, very good at doing this. Like, it's easy to clean up, but you can see right here, where this is on a join, that will never connect well if you don't shave this off. And I tend to shave a little bit more off than I have to, just to make sure. Okay, let's go. Bam. Got another blemish right there on a join. This isn't on a joint, but I'm still going to slice it off. So I don't have little burrs on the horns and teeth and whatever those bony outgrowths are on beholders. Actually, with this, I'm going to stop and I'm going to do things a little bit out of order. Because we do have this one little sprue. It's got clear bits. And because this is a different type of plastic, plastic cement doesn't work on it. So we're going to get that, and we're going to get this little thing for the gazer off too. Now on here, I normally do not like these base toppers because they don't really cover the 32mm bases that I normally use, but because we're actually going to be using a 25mm and the 50mm does cover them. So we get some cool little basic basing effects for free. Sorry about the shaky hands, guys. There it is, a neurological thing. There's nothing I can do about that. That's actually why I like having a drink when I paint. Speaking of which. Alright, so what I have noticed is underneath here, we'll get those burrs. We're going to go ahead and just slice that off. A sharp blade very much helps. Okay, so we're going to apply the plastic cement, flip it upside down, and we're going to go and just kind of glob this on anywhere that's flat. Stick it on. Then, because this stuff is so thin, if we put it along the edge like that, the capillary action will actually pull it underneath. Now, if you are not experienced with this type of plastic, you may be asking Party Bear, why are you using this specialty glue and not that super glue that we all know and love? Well, very simple, faithful viewer. This stuff actually melts the plastic and permanently bonds the pieces together. But it only works on polystyrene. It only works on this type of plastic. If you try to use this on another type, it will not work. So I'll probably have to do a little bit of extra basing on this one, but maybe on for the gazer. There we go. All right, so now that we got those drying a little bit, let's take these pieces and let's get them together. So you do want to go ahead and do these on a dry fit so that you make sure, so that you know for sure how these things go together. Apparently, I don't know how they go together. There we go. Butterfingers. Aren't you glad you're tuning into the stream to watch me have Butterfingers? These are going to go together like that, so let's go ahead and put that line of glue on. There's a little bit of a burr here that I missed. Slice that off. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice even join. That's going to go right in there. In the event that things go down lower and you can't do this stuff with the applicator anymore, a crappy brush will do the job. Let's hold this in place for a moment. I think this is going to be the underside of the beholder or the backside, so you're really not going to be able to see a lot of this, but I'm still going to use the capillary action to fill in these gaps to get as strong of a bond as possible. So that is step 1. Step 2, we need piece 1A, 1C, and 4, because those numbers make perfect sense. Let's see if we can find them. 1C, 1A. So this is 1A right here. The open mouth. And I don't know what piece 4 is, but it looks like a small one. Or there we go. It's this piece right here. It's like gums or something like that. These assembly instructions are not very good, by the way. Just as a note. Got a little blemish here on a seam or join. So that's an eyelid. Capillary action, do its thing. Looks like that goes there, so. By the way, just want you guys to know that when these miniatures are hollow like this, it takes every ounce of my being to not put jingle bells inside of them. Love the idea of moving the monster around the table on the battle mat and just having my players casually be like, is that jingling? I say, yes, it is. Right, when those are together, we're going to go ahead and make sure this is flat enough. Okay. Now I know that there is a way that this is going to go on because it is textured on the bottom. Oh god, that's going to be obnoxious. And actually, I'm going to have to wait to put that on. Is this gonna have to be painted? Because that's clear. Ignore what I just said. All right. So now we got these two pieces together. These are going to go ahead and go in together like this. Some pretty righteous gaps in here. All right, let's see what we can do about that. Remember what I said about using an old crappy brush? I think I just got rid of all my old crappy brushes, but this is the crappiest one I've got. And these will hold a lot more paint, a lot more of this glue. You can literally just brush it in. Clean that up. Alright. So now we get to start picking options. So we get piece either... So piece either 2 or 3 for the tongue. I'm going to go with this one because it's kind of like going... And that's how I imagine beholders. So we're going to clip this off the sprue. And then we get a choice of jaws. I'm going to go with jaw number 9 because it doesn't involve gluing additional tusks on because I hate that. And now piece 5 or 6 for the eye. It's like one of them is particularly veiny and the other one isn't, so we're going to go with the one that's kind of veiny. Oh, no, that's not what it is. It's the shape of the pupil. I don't want it to be square, so we're going to go with the other one. Sitting here sweating because summer's hitting and it's getting hot down here in Florida. So you guys can see, if you're not familiar with this kind of miniature, it is assembly's a process. Like, there's a reason why I don't normally like assembling these miniatures, but it is... Some people really, really like putting these things together. Like Gundam models. All about precision assembly. There are people who absolutely love that. If you really like the precision assembly, seriously get into Gundam modeling. It's a cool hobby. Okay. Yeah, that one dry fits right, and we're going to capillary action that. There we go. All right. Should just slide in here. It does, it just slides right in there and snaps in. Still going to use glue because you should never friction fit pieces. Alright. Now we need piece number 7, and that looks like it's the upper jaw. 7. Or apparently 8. But we're going to go with 7. Because it kind of matches the lower jaw. Well, this is cool, that if you buy multiple of this kit, you will get multiple beholders. You can make them look different. That's cool. mean, they're not going to look super, super different. They're all going to be kind of, it's a beholder. They're all kind of blah. Just like that, too. That's a technical term. Dry fit. Oh, yeah. All right, time for eye stocks, guys. And these ones, I'm just gonna go stick with whatever this one says. So, number 12. Which one of these it goes into? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, this is just going to be like a mass of them. Great. I think I'm overthinking this. I think you can pretty much just put these in wherever the hell you want. Alright. Let's go do 14. Chat's awfully quiet tonight. I see, okay. So this one goes out along the back. That's 14, let's get number 20. So one thing on modern polystyrene miniatures that you may have the urge to do is just to go and clip all the pieces out so you have them all in front of you. Do not do this. I'm really big about the concept that this is art and like there's no real wrong way to do this, but I'm telling you, if you do that, you're going to hate your life. Because a lot of times these things can only be put together in a certain way. And you have to follow the assembly instructions. And if you don't see the pieces numbered, you're in for a world of hurt. This is piece number 18. Dry fit this, but I don't think I really need to at this point. Piece number 15. And then piece number 11. Hey, WizKids, if you're paying attention, do these things numerically. Do them sequentially. Like, don't have us jump around in the from like 12 to 15 to 20 back to 11. Just have them be in the order you put them in: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one's going to need a little bit of gap filler. Okay. Number 22. These ones go in the same spots. Okay, never mind. Need number 13 now, which is going to be... Toss that one out of the way. So you can have a whole weird mess of beholder eye stalks. And now we will need 16. $17. And then finally 19. Shave that burr off the eyeball itself. All right. Alright, and with that, the beholder is assembled. Now I have an entire thing of eye stalks here I didn't use if you want them going in different wibbly wobbly ways. Now for the gazer, because the gazer is on such a small spot, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for this. I'm going to clip off this. We're going to go and shave off the burr. We're going to go and leave it on the sprue here. I'll go ahead and... Now this way we have something to grip onto while we're painting it, and we have something to prime it on. Speaking of which, that's the next step. So I am going to glue some stuff to, I'm going to tape some stuff to a box. I'm going to go prime this real quick, and then I will be back momentarily. All right, we're done. We're done priming. Yay! Now I am going to have to let this stuff dry for a moment, because unfortunately primer does take a little bit of time. Not very long. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and clear out the assembly instructions. We'll clear out our assembly tools. And we'll get ourselves ready to actually paint. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do a tiny bit of work to finish up the stone giant that I've been doing. It's been off stream, and I'm going to adjust my camera. So you're not going to be looking at my crotch. It's not going to take very long for this primer to dry. Alright, so with that, this stuff is getting dry enough. So let's go ahead and begin the fun part of this process, the actual painting. Let's get to painting, guys. I love painting. I hate assembly. Oh, it's so obnoxious. A little bit more scotch. Let's make sure to clean out that dry brush so it has a little bit of time to dry off. We're going to go and pull out one of our new... bought new brushes this weekend. One of our new angle shaders, and we're going to pull out something like just a nice big old honking brush. Which I don't have anymore because all of them were bad and got thrown away. Alright, so let's start out. Dungeon Gray. Now I'm going to paint this beholder really light, so I'm going to try to paint the base dark. Thought about it, and I think I want to do them in like a really, really light sky blue. But for this, we're going to start with bases, and we're just going to take this Dungeon Gray, and we're just going to slop it on. Yeah, that's right, baby. Slop it on, baby. We're not going to be neat. We're not going to be tidy. This is basing stuff. Slap that Dungeon Gray on this weirdly gooey paint. I don't know why this color acts like this. We're doing that for a reason. Alright, set you two aside. And as always, we're going to primarily be using Reaper paints, because those are the paints that I like. And they're good paints. Oceanic Blue, in fact, most of what we're using here is going to be from the Bones line. So for extra bonus fun. Oceanic Blue is going to be the base coat for the Beholder. Yeah. No. We're going to do it a little bit differently. I have changed my mind. A little bit. Skeleton Bone. We will be coming back to Skeleton Bone, but for the moment, I'm going to go and apply it to the interior bits. So specifically, the inside of his mouth, tongue, so we may have to get multiple coats of this. Gums, eyelids, the eyeball itself. By the way, if you ever want practice on painting eyes, I think this is another really good model. Maybe we'll go back to this for a second coat. But the reason why angular shaders are my favorite brushes for base coats is because they allow you to cover area and be precise at the same time. Because I got that nice angular feel to it. And of course, my paint is clogged up. Yay! All right. Let's take the cap off. Mind if I pour an extra little bit out, because I need a lot, because it's going to be the base coat of the Beholder, but I'm going to get paint all over my fingers. Because is it a paint stream if I don't get paint all over my hands? No, it's not. Well, everyone who's watching me, feel free to hop in. Feel free to go and say hi. Feel free to talk. I'm happy to say hi to you. Or you can sit there and just watch me paint like a bunch of weirdos. Now, this is a much lighter blue than you're probably expecting me to be starting with, but I want this guy to be like a bright, like powder blue, sky blue type deal. Now, I do like the fact that all these scales and whatnot on this guy are really nice and like deeply cut. I know that was one of my big criticisms about like the Warlock and the Mind Flayer that I've done, is that the detail just wasn't particularly deeply cut, which means it, you know, gets eaten up by paint really easily. There is a little bit of like undercut chicanery happening here on the bottom, but it's on the bottom, so I don't have as big of a problem with that. Get this all in those crevasses. Let's move this over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. I am going to have to tidy up with that skeleton bone, but I have to do a second coat of it anyway, so... yeah, if you guys are painting along with me, you know, feel free to pipe up, tell me what you're painting. I love hearing it. We got some more D&D stuff, some more Hammer stuff, Cav, Lord of the Rings, anything you're painting, let me know. I like all of it. The way I'm doing this guy, I'm going to focus on the ball part first, and then I'm going to worry about eye stalks. So I remember painting the Nolzur's Beholder. It was a huge pain in the ass, too. All those eye stalks. That one I think I actually tried underpainting with like contrast paint and whatnot. It was an extra bonus of a pain in the ass. Kept on seeing little white spots on it. There's still white spots on it where I didn't get to paint all the way through. That's why I'm doing this guy. Did we go through all that paint? We did go through all that paint. Wow. Yeah, that's right, clogged. Probably gonna have to do a second coat, so let's make sure we've got a decent amount on here. More paint on our hands, yeah! Let's be sloppy. It's a base coat, you're supposed to be sloppy. Sloppy jalopy. Let's start getting these eye stalks. Now for these eye stalks, the way I'm gonna do it is I'm just gonna go all the way around. Each eye stalk, one by one. Make sure I get a good, even coverage. Now, once again, I'm not super worried about having this be too smooth because it is a base coat and I'm going to be layering on top of it a lot. Hey, Sonic Hydra. Hey, what are the customization options with this mini? All right. So we did them earlier when we were putting it together. There are the following. You have two sets of jaws, two different tongues, two different eyeballs, and over two different sets of eye stalks. So, like, I did basically option 1 on all the eye stalks. There's a second set of eye stalks for all of them, and then there's a batch of eye stalks that are actually firing rays that you can alternate. So the big option is going to be on the eye stalks, so you can have them all kind of like put them differently. But I think the jaws and the eye will also have a little bit of an effect. So if you get multiple beholders, you will be able to make different beholders. They will all be able to be unique and to yours, so they can be beautiful, unique snowflakes, just like beholders are. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Much better than standard. And here's the thing that I have found so far on the Frameworks line. By the way, welcome to the stream. I don't believe I don't know if I've ever seen you. Are you new? I found that a lot of the quality on the Frameworks line so far has been really spotty. Some of them have been great. Some of them have been terrible. But this one's fantastic so far. I'm loving this one. First time here. Well, welcome to the stream, my friend. I am Party Bear. I am more than happy to answer any questions. I've got tons of experience with this type of plastic. So if you're not as familiar with them, that's kind of what I'm doing. This is an informational thing. How'd you wind up finding out about the stream? Were you Reddit? Are you Facebook? Are you in one of the groups I share it to? I'm gonna go put this on the Gazer. Also, are you painting anything with me, or are you just sitting here watching like a weirdo? Being a weirdo's fine. We're all weirdos. We're going to set you aside. This is good enough. Facebook Dungeons & Dragons Miniatures Painting Group. Awesome, man. Thank you very much. Thanks for being part of the group, by the way. I am the admin for the group, actually. I made it a couple of years ago, but it is... Oof, man, that thing is big now. Aha, being a weirdo. That's right. Weirdo Nation. That is what we are. If I get more popular in a stream, I'm going to go ahead and be Blitzkrieg Gray. This is a cab color, and I'm mixing that up with the Dungeon Gray. If I ever wind up getting popular enough to deserve merch, I'm going to go ahead and have a shirt that just says Weirdo Nation. Crappy brush, crappy brush, crappy brush, oh crappy brush. Just after midnight for you. Oh, so you're over, so you're across the pond. You're over in Europe, huh? That's just after midnight, I think. Normally our UK viewers are about that. You over in the Isles, or are you on the continent over there? Dry brush. Yeah, UK. Yep. Well, welcome to an American paint stream from an upstart Colonial. England specifically. Nice thing about dry brushing is we can automatically jump to this. Let's keep that in this, by the way. If you do shades... Hey, Elmerin, how's it going, buddy? These little things you can get from Games Workshop for like $10, and they are completely worth it. Welcome to stream, Elmerin. We're painting a beholder. And we've got another bloke from the UK here to join us. I don't know if Sir Froth of the L might join us. He's also up in the UK. What we're gonna do there. I think actually after this I can put the molten oil away. How's this Frameworks beholder go for? So I was able to get it for $25 because I found it mispriced. Unfortunately, the baseline miniature goes for $50 American, which is a lot more than I think it's worth, which is a shame. And Ilmarin says, today was an absolute gem. How did it go, Ilmarin? What happened with you? Yeah, so $50 American, probably going to be like 30 quid, which, once again, it's a really cool miniature. And I really do think that it's probably worth it because of the material, but the Frameworks things are kind of spendy. Especially like the minion boxes, my god. Oh yeah, that's a lot. Let's see if I can find it cheaper somewhere. You probably can. I mean, that's MSRP, or RRP, or, you know, whatever part of the world you're in, however they call it. Alright, this guy is going to need a little bit more drying, so let's do a little bit more work on getting the inside of his mouth a little bit more even in his tongue. We are still going to be revisiting Skeleton Bone, but this is going to be it for now. And that's it for the angle shader as well. Recently bought the Dire Troll Paint Night Kit and was very impressed by what you get for the price. Oh yeah, those Paint Night Kits are great. I don't care for any painter paints, but if you use them, man, that's a good deal. Today in Appalachia is National Day of Prayer. It was a lunch at work. They asked the head of the reference for the invocation. He's atheist, got up, said how good it was, see everyone sat down. That is the best invocation you can have, my friend. Whether you're religious or not. I hate having to sit through long prayers before you eat. I'm very much a rub-a-dub-dub thanks to the grub yay god type guy. Let's go ahead and just make sure that's all in. Former religious director, hardcore religious nut, almost had a stroke. That's funny. That is funny. I mean, it's sacrilegious, but it's funny. It's recently bought the Dire Troll paint night. Those paint night kits are a lot of fun. I like the fact that they're doing that. I mean, once again, it's not my paint line, so if I ever do the paint night kit, I'll probably be bringing my own. But I think that's great for people getting started. Especially if they like the arm painter paints. All right, tropical blue, guys. This is going to be dry brushing, so we're not even putting it on the wet palette. Man, this is a little bit thin. I hope this dry brush is okay. Yeah, not a religious organization, so yeah. Well, yeah, there you go. If you're not a religious organization, then yeah, go ahead and keep that as simple as you possibly can. Okay, a little dry brush on the gazer. And then along here. Here in the UK, the Dire Troll on its own is like 15 pounds. Paint night kit was 20 pounds. Came with loads of paint and 2 decent brushes as well. Yeah. God, I'm surprised. Oh, actually, then again, yeah, the Dire Troll is pretty big. I think they're $15. So, good God, if you guys are having to pay that much in like import, if it's $1 to 1 pound, because I know your currency is worth a lot more than ours. I'm gonna have to shade this guy. So grab some of the paint here that's pooling. Yeah, I'm glad they're doing those paint kits. Like, I don't know why I was thinking Venom Troll instead of the, like the actual miniature for the Venom Troll instead of the Dire Troll. I painted one of those Dire Trolls for a client a while ago. That is a fun miniature. It's got like the heads and the arms and whatnot just kind of poking out everywhere. I don't know, maybe I wanted to shade on this. Yeah, WizKids don't do a conversion on the actual exchange rate. They just charge it. Oh, God, that's terrible. That's terrible. Oh, that's just miserable. Alright, well, we are going to have to do a little bit of mixing now. So we're going to start layering up. We got our tropical blue. You know what, I'll bring my wet palette over so y'all can see it. Because I should be doing that. A friend of mine said, the Dire Troll looks like when Agent Smith from The Matrix is moving faster than the bullets, and I can't unsee it. That is not incorrect. It does, in fact, look a lot like that. Alright, we got also Frost Blue. I'm going to go really, really pale blue on here, guys. So let's do about a 50-50 mix here. Size 0 round to mix. There we go. Let's clean out the 0 round because we're not going to be using that to actually layer. Straight to the liners, guys. Are you going for a Xanathar paint job? You know, I guess I could be saying I'm doing a Xanathar paint job. I just wanted to paint them blue. I'm doing a lot of dark miniatures lately, so I want to do something a little bit lighter. And I haven't done... I don't tend to do a lot of work with blue. I don't know why, but I just don't. It's nice to have something vibrant occasionally. Yeah, I prefer vibrant stuff. I really do. It's just lately I seem to have been painting a lot of like, because I did last thing I did was like a fire giant. Now I got the stone giant, and like my frost giant's vibrant. That guy's bright as hell. Although I guess, you know, I did just finish those white dragons, and they're, you know, white. But for some reason I seem to avoid blues, and I don't understand why. I need to stop doing that. By the way, pro tip, liners, they're your friends. Convince my friend to paint a giant snake like a neon green, sort of like those really poisonous lizards. And frogs again in real life came out looking awesome. Yeah, dude, so I really love painting stuff in like a neon looking stuff. Specifically, if you go with a dark base and then you just do really, really vibrant edge highlights, you can make it look like it is actually like glowing, like a blacklight reactive type deal. I painted a Cruel Boys army for Warhammer that way, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. Kind of wish I saved that stream. I did a lot of those on a 24-hour stream last year about this time. Man, it has been about a year, hasn't it? Well, it'll be a year in a month or two. I think I did it in July. Yeah, I'm going to need to do some deeper shading in the recesses here. We'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah, I think that because like we are typically painting for like D&D and Warhammer and Wargames and whatnot, like there's just a tendency for people to do really dark, like almost muddy paint jobs. And I always just think things look a lot better when it's like really stylized. Amazing. The same friend painted his Orc Warcry band super vibrant, did their armor like a neon pink, and used various shades of contrast mates to give almost an iridescent look. They came out looking straight up cyberpunk. Oh man, I like that. I like that. Like, there's a while where I was like getting really big about trying to do like a synthwave palette and have everything be like all the secondary colors. Have the secondary colors be like just slightly off, like more teals than greens and more violets than purples. Came out with some really cool looking stuff there too, but I'm not good enough at blending to really do stuff into like a true synthwave style. Got a mech I did in blue camo with black lining at the corners of plates and pink edge highlights. I think I've seen that one. It looks good. Which does remind me, I need to do another Cav stream. The problem is this painting the monster manual quest is like taking up... It is like consuming my entire painting life right now. Yeah, my shadows are not nearly dark enough. Looks like I'm going to be doing a lot of recess shading on this guy. I'll do that before I do my highlights. Clean out our brush. Sonic Hydra used to play Warhammer Underworlds, played one of the Chaos Warbands, and at one point is tempted by another set of them to paint super vibrant. I know actually, like a lot of people who are like really super into Underworlds do that for their like inspired or whatever it is. Just make it a little bit clearer on the tabletop. Underworlds is a really cool game that I wish took off in my area, but it just really didn't. So for those of you watching later on YouTube, what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of like layering up some lines on all these scales. And this is something that if your shadows are dark enough, and your layers are light enough, then you can wind up getting with a really, really good contrast. Make things really friggin' pop. But my shadows are not really dark enough here, so I'm gonna have to go over those. Yeah, Ilmer, I'm just waiting for probably the next set of the dual cast, CO cast cab stuff to come out, and I'm going to go and put another order in so I can get my aircraft from my Malvernus. The Cobra, etc. are due in May. Sonic Hydra says, I recently got super into basing my minis for D&D. Didn't used to bother. Did a couple zombies the other day that looked like coming out of staying in swamp water. Yeah, so that's actually something that I think, like, that's like a threshold in, like, getting better and improving is when you stop viewing basing as an afterthought and start like thinking of it as part of the miniature itself. What I highly recommend if you're really starting to get into basing, pick up a couple of rolling pins from Green Stuff World. The stuff you can do with those, I mean, obviously you can make base toppers, but you can do a bunch of other stuff too. Like you can roll out plates of the stuff and then break it up to make it look like broken stonework and broken earth. And it just makes your stuff look so cool. Sonic Hydra in the mech game, I plays Cav, and the mechs are like $7 US each, so I can get really creative and not be out much if you hate it. Yep, that's one of the great things about Cav, is that it's just that price point's amazing. Like, the price point's amazing, but more importantly, the miniatures look really freaking cool. Well, I think recess shading all of this is going to be absolute madness, but you have to do the spots. Oh, coming along. The only war game I've ever played where owning a whole faction of catalog is an hilarious goal. Yep. Sounds like you got some new music in the chiptune station. I don't think I've heard this one before. Actually, I think because I'm doing right enough with this color, I think I can get away with just doing an all-over shade, but we're going to find out. We'll go ahead and thin down my already thinned down Dragunov Nightshade for it. Alright, well, I got most of these. Just gotta get this underside now. I'm not gonna worry too much about underneath him. Alright. Let's do a little bit on the eye stalks. So by the odd citadel thing here and there, yep. Yeah, that's the problem, is that there's just so much cool stuff out there now. Like, I run into the problem that I just want to buy all of it. And I know I really shouldn't, like... Wife doesn't really care what I spend my money on, but, you know... I don't want to be spending all the money in the world on this stuff. I already spend more than enough. Well, what I'm really hoping is that if the frameworks for WizKids is successful, what I'm hoping is that other miniature manufacturers will start using this material to make monsters for D&D. I know that the molds are really expensive, but I just love working with this material so much. It's just a lot easier. So many options, literally don't even worry about what the characters I make in D&D anymore. Yep. How does material differ to Nolzur's or Warhammer? So this is the same material that most Warhammer miniatures are made out of. This is Warhammer plastic. So if you're familiar with Warhammer plastic, it's high impact polystyrene. It's injection molded high impact polystyrene. It's easy to kit bash. It stays together well. It's just much more of a joy to work with. Like Nolzur's, I'm not gonna lie, I can't stand most of their miniatures. I think that they are low quality sculpts. I hate the fact that they're pre-primed. The detail is not very good. And I think that they try to be accurate to the concept art in the monster manual to the detriment of making a good figure. And unfortunately, just because it works well on a 2D concept art doesn't mean it's going to make a good miniature. And I don't think WizKids has entirely figured that out yet. Like, a couple of the Frameworks miniatures take liberties with how they're portrayed, but most of them still look like they're just trying to duplicate the monster manual. These eye stalks are annoying. But I will go and say that yeah, It's very sturdy. Isn't Nolzur's is absolutely lower quality. We feel like they went for forward ability. Yeah, they did. Well, and I remember like I was I actually wound up having a conversation with the one of the people from WizKids when Nolzur's was just coming out, and he basically said that what they were trying to do was be on par with Reaper Bones price-wise, but be higher than Reaper Bones quality. And for the stuff that was coming out at the time, yeah, Nolzur's was better quality than those Reaper Bones. But the thing is, Reaper has not been sitting on their laurels, and they have made much better quality miniatures, and I think Reaper Bones currently are better quality than Nolzur's. So... I do think that it would benefit Nolzur's a lot if they would not make them pre-primed. I think the fact that they're pre-primed is the biggest hit against them. Redback's Kickstarter stuff he got from Reaper Bones last one's insanely good. It really is. Like, I didn't get a lot from the last Reaper Bones Kickstarter, and I was upset about it. That's why I backed this one that just finished. Like, I have some serious FOMO regrets from the last one. Let's get a bit more water in our paint. Yeah, but especially since they're moving over to what they call Bones USA, but it's basically COcast. And that COcast stuff, man, that is amazing. That is an absolute game changer in quality, especially with how it can be produced. Now, what I hope is that we wind up getting just more people into painting miniatures that aren't doing it for like war games, that are either doing it for like D&D and miniature, D&D RPGs, or just painting for the sake of painting. Like, it bothers me that so many people will only buy a miniature if they think they're going to use it for their Warhammer army. And it's like, you can just buy and paint a miniature because you think it looks cool. And I think we need to have more of that. Yeah, Reaper have been improving so much over such a short time. They really have. I mean, like... And their metal stuff is still great. Clean out our brush. Actually hold this up to the camera and be a good streamer. God, I'm really bad at this game. Getting those people into painting minis. Getting more people painting minis, I think it's the goal of those paint night kits. Personally, I think it's why they likely take a smaller profit margins. They know they get people in the hobby. Yeah, it's probably a lot dealing with like the lost leader type deal. Well, and on top of that, like when it winds up coming to the a lot of like the supply and paint lines that people like, most people stick with the first paint line they learn. And they don't really branch out much. Like, and look, I'm not really much different. Like, Reaper is not the first paint line that I learned, it's the second one. And I've stuck with it. I've stuck with it a long time. And they know that as like if they can get people started on their Nolzur's Marvelous Pigments thing, that people will stick with them for a long time. But I 100% support it. Yeah, guilty. Most people do, and I don't think that's a bad thing. It's like, you know, this is what you learned on. That's just what you know the best. I just wound up being lucky enough that the paint line that I really learned how to paint on just happens to be one of the best paint lines on the market. Unfortunately for you, Sonic Hydra. Beholder's looking great, by the way. Thanks. I gotta... It's not... I don't have the contrast that I want on him yet, so I'm gonna have to actually grab something. And I wasn't properly prepared. And I'm gonna have to grab a couple things. So... in here, I have Drakenhof Nightshade. About a 50-50 mix of Drakenhof Nightshade and Lamian Medium. You know how those shades will shift as they dry. I know how to water down. Why mess with that? Yeah, exactly. So I want this to be more subtle because Drakenhof Nightshade is really strong, and I have extra Lamian Medium here that I got when Store was getting rid of it. So I'm going to thin this down even more. So this is going to be this is going to be the faintest Drakenhof Nightshade you'll ever see. But it is now time for my bravery test, so, as Bob Ross would say. And you thought I wasn't going to have Bob Ross in this stream. You were wrong. So let's see if I'm right. Yes, I am right. Okay, yes. Oh, awesome. That's going to darken my shadows just a smidge. Oof. Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. And that's thin enough that I can really douse this with it. Okay, come on, Party Bear. Focus on the glow, focus on the main orb, and then get the eye stalks. So the nice thing by thinning it down with a lot of that Lamian Medium is that it'll really just go in the cracks And I'm not going to get that tea staining effect that you can get. Let's say you added the wash. Does it affect it? So Lamy and Medium, it's a Games Workshop product, and it is it's just a medium. It's paint without pigment. And if you have to water down paint, for like an extended period, over an extended area, if you're doing like layering and whatnot, water will work fine. But if you use a medium, you will thin down the paint without changing its properties, and that's what I was aiming for. And that is why sometimes it's better off to use medium instead of butter. But I do that for very specifically the GW shade Drakenhof Nightshade, because it's so heavily saturated that it just stains anything you put it on. And you might as well just be painting black ink over something. Happy to help. Happy to assist in any way that I can. Yeah, I use the Lamy and Medium because I got a whole bunch of it when I was getting like relabeled and put into larger pots. So I basically got it for free, and that's why I'm using it. But if you go to like art supply stores, a lot of times you can get like acrylic mediums, particularly thin acrylic mediums, and they'll do the same thing. And you can get it in like big jugs for not too much. Reaper makes some stuff like that too, but they normally you do instead their additives are more like flow improvers and drying retardants and that kind of stuff. I think if you're in the UK, Vallejo is going to be easier for you to get. I think they do additives too. I just dropped my brush. But I could be wrong on that. Okay. Alright, let's get these clear parts on here. Where did I put them? There. I think it goes right there. Reaper sells pots of medium as well. Yes, nice. Should be fairly easy to get. It is. We've got pretty much everything here. Just some stuff takes a bit longer. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I've heard a lot of people in the Europe complain about getting Reaper stuff, like Reaper paints. So I know a little bit ago, Squidmar did a series where they did kind of like a paint-off of all the different major lines of paint. And Reaper came in second, but that was also partially because they have a hard time getting it where they're from. But they even said that they were very surprised at how good the Reaper paints functioned. Set those aside. And now let's get working on the inside of that mouth. We have around here, we got contrast purple, Megos purple. Because I love contrast. No, excuse me. Burping from all the scotch. Okay, contrast in his mouth. And on these kind of gums and membranous areas. in there, especially on the tongue. That'll be good for the moment. Let's get a different brush. Let's get our size 1 round. Paint this big, like, under eyelid type deal there, that color. All right. Let that dry, and I think, because I got my fan up high, I think the shade is about dry enough that I can start doing my final highlight with just straight frost blue. We're not going to bother with the eye stalks on this outside of like right around the eyes, but that'll be a little bit later. Ooh. This is where I'm really going to start getting that kind of like, it's almost like the Party Bear signature. Illustrated look. Too big of a glob. Really glad I mixed in some of this frost blue with the glacier blue. That is how we do it, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of this on the eye stalks. God damn it. Oh well. Just means it's gonna take a little bit longer. So I'm afraid of a little bit longer. I wouldn't be highlighting every individual scale. I would just be dry brushing. That's the thing about this guy. That's looking so good, and I can't believe how quick you are doing it. Yeah, by the way, I paint really fast. Like, I am a capable painter. I don't consider myself to be necessarily very good. Well, I'm good. I'm not great. But I put a lot of my talent points into speed. So if you want to, like if you follow my stream, I teach a lot of time-saving and workflow techniques to be very efficient and move quickly. Like with what I'm doing right here, this is technically not even good technique. I'm not blending. I'm not thinning very much stuff down. I'm not doing a lot of transitionary layers. I'm letting the shade and dry brushing do a lot of the work for me. And then because I'm doing all these like little lines, I'm creating an illusion of texture. Did a box set a long stream once, yeah. I did. If you I did a 24-hour challenge. If you're familiar with Warhammer Age of Sigmar, the big Dominion box that came out, I painted the Cruel Boys half of that on a 24-hour live charity stream, and I actually got it done in about 22 hours, completely from like on the sprue to done. Finished up in the really wee hours of the morning. With nobody there watching me, just all by my lonesome. Having really crappy movies playing on in the background from Netflix. Huh. But yeah, this like, because the order that I'm doing it in, like the shading and the dry brushing is doing a whole lot of the work for me. And then the way I'm doing this with like, instead of it being like blending, I'm just doing all of these lines in an illustrative manner. That really saves me a lot of time too. Because I don't have to worry about like blending and dry times and that kind of stuff. And truth be told, I really just don't like wet blending. I don't enjoy it. I think it makes miniatures look technically excellent, but boring. Like to paint fast so I can get through a pile of shame fast. Well, you know, if you're able to tune in streams, I know obviously it's a weird time for you if it's like past midnight at this point, but you know, if you tune into the streams, I am trying to post them onto YouTube a lot more. I do go through a lot of time-saving technique. I got nasty pooling here, so we're gonna crap, we're gonna have a tide line from hell. But I think that's going to be on, though. I don't know how visible that's going to be, but we're going to find out. Yeah, I go through a lot of that, and it'll help you out a lot. But I also try to plan out to be like, I try to finish what my project on stream. And that's also helped me get a lot faster. Where's the gazer? If you have a deadline, that probably helps a lot. Yep. It does. Well, and I wish I could say that, like, on stream, it's because, like, I'm really organized and that kind of stuff. If you watch my streams, dude, I am not organized at all. I am very much a creative chaos person. I've had more than a few streams where it's like, okay, here's this miniature. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. Let's find out, guys. We are going to do a little bit of work on this tongue now. On the inside, we got Flesh Terrors Red. We're going to avoid the tongue. Paint just the inside of the mouth. Another thing, contrast paints save a ton of time. If I were a good streamer, I'd have gotten my paints out. Yeah, exactly. All the time. You will hear me say that. Ah, crap, I got some on the tongue. I will say that all the time where I do not have my paints out. I'm really bad at this whole streaming thing. We're gonna have to redo that tongue. All right, let's go hop back to the. Actually, I think this is supposed to go like this. Yeah, I think it's time to attach him to his base. Let's grab our zip kicker. If I have it, there it is. Accelerant. Yeah, crap. Oh, crap, don't do this to me. Son of a bitch. Alright. Let's put some on the back here to go just make this a better bond. Set you aside. Hey, look, it's a gazer. Alright, so back to our graveyard bone. Alright, so he's kind of facing a little bit more up than I think he's supposed to be, but whatever. I think it's okay. A little bit of contrast on there, so it's a little bit kind of reddish because it's not completely dried yet. Whatever, it's okay. These are not just going to be scales, these are going to be straight up bony protrusions, so that it doesn't just look like a single color miniature. It's a 2-color miniature. A pleasure watching and chatting. But you got to be good. Yeah, go have fun, man. Get some rest. Thank you for joining us. It's good to meet you. Be on, like, you know, you're welcome to join me every week. I'm here all the time. You can shoot me a follow. You can check me on the social medias as well. I got a YouTube channel where I'm chronicling painting the Monster Manual. But yeah, man, thanks for joining us. Good to have you. This is normally the time I clam up anyway, so take care, buddy. Cool. Yeah, I will absolutely post a finished piece on Facebook. You can like my page too. It'll definitely go up there. I'll post this as soon as I'm done. By the way, for those paying attention, we got Dragon Black. And this is how you do eyes. I'm changing it because I don't think Techno Jingle Bells is the right song for right now. Pretzel Rocks, What on Earth is Going Down? This is getting a thumbs down. Catch you later, man. Thanks again for joining us. I do appreciate it. I missed a bony plate. So Ilmarin, you painting anything with us tonight, or are you just hanging out and watching like a weirdo? As always, just being a weirdo. Yeah, I was just saying earlier, you weren't on. If I ever get if I'm ever popular enough to warrant it, I'm gonna get shirts made that just say Weirdo Nation. Should not be doing this with a liner, but I'm committed. Back over to the Graveyard Bone. Oh, crap. Let's get us our size 0 round. This is what your job is. All right. Okay, that goes purple. Let's do another coat on that tongue. All right, Seraphim Sepia. I'm going to finish the Gazer tomorrow. I don't feel like doing it today. It was kind of a bonus anyway. But we're going to do this on the teeth. As well as the bony protrusions. Give the eyes a little bit of time to dry. Feel my hands going. I'm not going to be able to go for too much longer. Should be able to finish it up, though. Center of his eye first. The central eye, considering how deeply recessed it is. Alright. So we've got, this is actually Carrot Top Red. It's going to form like a dark orange. I'm going to get like a tiny spotter for this, or like a tiny round. Let's go ahead and redo a little bit of that. Alright, next up. Pound Sunrise, cow color. We are so close to done. Okay, we are going to go back to the Flush Terrors Red. We're just going to finish lining these gums. Guys, we are so close to done. Clean up. Line these gums so they look really nasty and red. It's going to dry for a moment or two. Let's go back to our liner and let's thin down our skeleton bone a little bit more. Let's make sure it's really thin. Let's just trace some teeth. Now let's trace some bony protrusions. All right. Going to dot some eyes. Okay. We got this carrot top orange. We're going to thin that down a little bit. We're going to use this to highlight on those mouth bits and the gums. Just a little bit so it doesn't look like it's just straight contrast. And I think, finally, I'm going to have to grab another paint because, of course, I didn't grab all my paints. I'm going to have to get up at least 3 more times. I'm going to grab 2 paints because I'm not quite sure which one of these is going to be the one I'm going to want. Somewhere in here is my Dark Elf highlight. Where'd that go? Come on. Dark Elf highlight. There it is. But we've got Brains Pink. Brains Pink. Brains Pink. This is going to be for the tongue. And finally, a little bit of tracing on the eyelid. And one final thing I want to do. Tiny bit of, well, I got a tiny bit of cleaning up. Damn it, this guy never ends. I'm never going to be done with him. He's just going to keep on finding little bits that I've got to clean up. You ever seen that happen, Elmarin, where it's just like you keep on finding these little bits that you got to clean up? It's obnoxious. Alright, with that, I think the Beholder is done. Yeah, we gotta ring the base. And do a little bit of basing work on him. Because this base is looking awful plain. And I got a thing of tufts right here, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, I think that's that. Yeah, that's why I never finish anything. Yep. It's because you always find these like tiny little things that you gotta keep on cleaning up, and even then I'm like, oh man, I wanna Alright, but I'm gonna call this done. I'm gonna call him done. I think he looks really good. I think that it's a really cool miniature. I think it's definitely a step up, an improvement from the Nolzur's Beholder. I really like it. I'm surprised how much I like it. I enjoy doing this guy. And honestly, that's the Frameworks thing. I enjoy painting them. They look good. It's just they feel kind of spendy for what you're getting. Alright guys, well I'll upload this to YouTube. In the meantime, catch you guys next week. Ilmarin, thanks for joining us. We had a new friend today. It's awesome. Great stream. Great stream. Hopefully people can check this out on YouTube and maybe learn a thing or two about painting. All right, guys. Catch you all next week. Be good to each other. Paint more minis. Peace.